Alright, Heir of Carthage back with the second part of my Rome Total Realism introduction. Hopefully we can finish this battle and then get out to the campaign map where I can show you some of that. These Greek hoplites here are very, very bravely standing their ground, outnumbered and against repeated cavalry charges. So they are definitely a force to be reckoned with for me in this battle. And I'm trying to break them with repeated cavalry charges, but I only have light cavalry, and this is going to be a severe detriment. And there goes my light cavalry. I don't even have it anymore. In fact, my whole army's pretty much in a rout now. On a hard setting, this is a very hard battle to win indeed. I have won it, but only whenever I've played on normal or easy. And, I mean, it's just because Carthage went up against a very superior force here. And even though I had a hill advantage and everything else, the Greeks are going to give me a pretty sound thrashing here. So you can see a lot of my forces are leaving the field. And I'm going to try and regroup and offer any resistance I can, but, I mean, this thing's pretty much over. Anyway, yeah, let me get you a few close-ups of some of the troops again, if you enjoy that. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of it. That's because I'm trying to manage my fight and get you close-ups at the same time. Not generally a good idea. Here's some more of the Greek troops there, wearing some cool helmets. And there's some of my Carthaginian troops running away after having been soundly defeated. Speaking of, where is my general? Oh, he's way back here, fighting against mercenary hoplites. That's bad. I think I'm going to try and just get my general off the battlefield. And maybe I can just withdraw him and save his life for later. There he goes. Alright, well, I'm going to pretty much go ahead and lose this battle. I'm going to come back at you from the campaign map, but I hope this was an introduction to kind of give you an idea of what things look like on the battle map. Let me get you one last close-up. Here's my chariots. I'm going to send them in for some melee combat, which is not really smart because they don't really have a melee attack, to be honest. So here they are fighting against these hoplites, and eventually they'll die. Oh wait, wow! I routed some of those hoplites in a combined attack. Heck, man, that's great. I didn't mean to bring my general back from trying to run him away, but I did. And it ended up helping me rout a unit of hoplites. That's pretty funny. Didn't expect that. Now you get out of here, General. Go save your life. Deselect the General here. A lot of the Greek troops are exhausted, though. That could make a difference. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to stop recording. You're not really missing a whole lot of anything else here. It's just my regroup troops here trying to fight, but really no point because they're all going to die. Alright, see you on the campaign map. Now, I did fail at that battle at the river. Let's head back up here to Sicily to take a look. I dealt some pretty massive damage to the rebel army, though. And my general did manage to get away. Well, I thought he managed to get away. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Hannibal, the son of Gisco. Not the right Hannibal. There's Mago. Yep, he got away. And a lot of my army got away too. I don't know if I can really retrain any of these men though. Retraining is kind of an odd thing on Rome Total Realism. You have to have kind of a very specific setup to train certain troops. And whenever you take over regions, you have to, I guess, integrate that city into your society. So there's a process of building buildings and taking steps that kind of integrate that community into Carthaginian society. And then the turns, when you end turns, it's not 1 or 2 turns per year like it is on Rome Total War. I believe there's more than that. And then the kind of buildings, as you can see, there's a lot of weird buildings down here if you look at your city. Some of those aren't buildings, some of them are just policy. Let's take a look at the kind of stuff you can build and I'll explain it. Of course you have roads and other things, but you have smaller buildings like this that are very cheap and don't take too long. See, it says Village Tailor, and if you open it up, it says it increases tradable goods. You got a Village Miller, increase in tradable goods. So this is a way to kind of further the economy building in Rome Total War. Some people don't like it. I really think it's kind of neat. And then you have this economic and social development. So once you research that, it helps your town to grow and develop. And then, you know, you got trade routes here, village goldsmith. I think there's a lot of cool things that you get to do in the building here. It says I can retrain some troops here. I guess it's just gonna upgrade them. I must have a blacksmith there or something. Another thing you're gonna notice is there's a lot more towns on the map. And that doesn't necessarily mean that all these towns are really big. In fact, a lot of these ones with the smaller writing are supposed to be minor provinces, and then the ones with the capitalized writing are major provinces. And so these smaller places are kind of just resource centers to help fuel the larger city. And the larger city is really the only place where you can train any decent military units, and less time goes by and those cities grow. And this blue flag you see over here is the Epirote flags, and that's Syracuse. And you can see that the Epirotes have an army right here. The army I was fighting against was rebels, and some Greek rebels there. And man, they had a tough army, I'm gonna have to admit. Let's take a look at the territory we own. You start with Lepsis Magna and control of it on here, and that is accurate. It was a Carthaginian colony as well, or Punic colony. And then you also start with Tingis over here, except here the major province is actually this city. And the Carthaginians, many people don't know it, but they actually sailed clear out into the Atlantic and started trade routes down the coast of Africa. And Gadir here was also, historically speaking, a Punic stronghold on the Atlantic coast. And this city I'm not familiar with, the historical accurateness of it though. Anyway, you start with a little bit of holdings in Spain, and that's correct because the holdings in Spain didn't really grow until the Barcas went there and expanded the Carthaginian Empire in order to make up for the loss of Sicily during the First Punic War. Alright, so that's kind of an introduction to what goes on in the Carthage campaign. Managing your cities, of course, is a lot more tedious because there are a lot of cities. So I suggest that you put it on auto-manage and hope that the computer does a decent job, and then the best thing you can do is just kind of take a few cities off of auto-manage from time to time. So if you go in here into your faction scroll, we can set up the auto-manage, auto-manage everything. And we want to make it to where the auto-manage spins pretty much all it can spend each turn. You can change that if that's not what you desire. And then what we shall do is we have to go into each individual city, and we have to turn off recruitment because we don't want the AI fixing that. And while I'm doing this, let me just explain some of the other features that you find in this campaign. More or less, in this campaign, it's focused on the Western Mediterranean, as you can see in the world map, and that's because, to me, is one of the more interesting war zones, especially since I'm a big fan of Carthage. Carthage really only took any action in the Western Mediterranean because Carthage didn't have any interest in the Eastern Mediterranean, really, other than Tyre, which was kind of the home city for the Punic people. Anyway, so the playable factions, of course, I've told you this before, but I'll tell you again, it's Rome, the Epirotes, Carthage, Numidia, the Celtiberians, which is the Iberians, and also, seems like there's one other, I can't remember. No, I think that's it. And yeah, I think that's all you can play. It's only got a few factions. To be honest, Rome Total Realism Platinum 1.9 has a lot more factions, but also I don't think the graphics are as good, and some of the other improvements aren't as good, and to be honest, the campaign, to me, as far as buildings and everything else, it's not quite as good as Rome Total Realism 7. So yeah, I know this video may not be real exciting, me doing this part, but oh well. I'll talk to you about all the stuff that I can while I'm doing it. But yeah, if you didn't notice in that battle, the graphics are much, much better. In fact, I think Rome Total Realism 7 is kind of a good start towards what you would hope to see in Rome Total War 2. I say a start because the historical aspect of it is just one aspect of making a really good game. So I would hope that they make Rome Total War 2 eventually, very soon, hopefully. And I also hope that they make it very historically accurate, because to me, That would make the whole thing more interesting. Some people don't agree. But anyway, let's go ahead and end this turn. You can see the different factions there. The Autonomoi Polis is autonomous Greek factions that aren't necessarily associated with the Epirotes. You can see Free Tribes and Autonomoi Dynasty, which is Eastern mini-factions, but they're not playable in any of the things. You're also going to get this a lot in the Rome Total Realism campaign. This is saying that basically you can adopt this guy. He's a pretty good commander. However, it asks you this like on every turn. It asks you to adopt people. If you do it, you're going to go bankrupt. In fact, as you can see, I'm already bankrupt in the end of my first turn. So, not very good. We're going to have to cut some costs somehow. And if you didn't notice too, I had 40,000 denarii at the end of that turn. So the campaign definitely takes some real economic management. We do not want to accept this guy. Really, the only time that I accept those kind of things is whenever we are the largest faction, of course, because we start out with so much territory. And here's the construction report for all the buildings that were built there. You can see there's a ton of economic social development that the computer went ahead and built for me, and that will help in its own small way. And you can see I retrained some troops, but I'm going to need to I guess get rid of some troops in order to save some money. Let's see what happens if we end this turn. Let's see if we just lose more or if we are starting to come back to the positive here. Okay, we lost a little bit more, but not near as bad as we did on that turn. Well, I guess that's probably also due to the fact that the computer didn't have any money to spend on buildings, which isn't good. We're going to need buildings built in order to pull our income up. So, you know, I may not get it right on this one, but I may have to practice at some of my own. And if you can see, man, we got rebels, and then there's a pretty good-sized Epirote army coming after us here. I'm going to move my army back to Lilybum, and I need to get rid of some of these troops, because the upkeep is probably costing me a lot of money. Yeah, you can see the upkeep cost here is 830 denarii every turn. So if I can get rid of these chariots, they're costing me a lot. And on this game also, the upkeep for cavalry is much, much more than infantry, especially if it's heavy cavalry, and that's perspective of real life too, because cavalry was extremely expensive to keep. Anyway, I'm running out of time. I hope you enjoyed these introduction videos to Rome Total Realism. I know maybe it seems a bit scattered because, you know, I have a hard time recording on Rome Total War with my new computer, which shouldn't be the case, but it is the case because the frame rates are so slow. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed this, and it was kind of informational on showing you what this game has to offer and what you can expect. A lot of you asked me how to download it. Go to RomeTotalRealism.org, and that's the best way to learn. Anyway, I will see you back soon, and maybe we'll just continue this campaign if you all want to see me continue it. So give me some feedback and let me know what you think.